Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at Polkadot, see what's going on with this old guy here. We're going to go ahead and pull up some back-end liquidation data, talk a little bit about this resistance range that just got broken, and the likelihood of retesting it as a support is honestly quite high. You got to recognize too, Bitcoin is exuding a lot of good behaviors right now, breaking its macro trend line and likely to be continuing further up with potential slight retracement there. So if you saw my Bitcoin analysis, you'll kind of recognize this here. I can pull it up here this is from today here so far. You can see Bitcoin has a CME gap of about 85K, potential to bounce off this 87 to 85K range. If it pulls back, that's a distinct possibility, but also just know that that's something that's important to be mindful of. Okay? So we take a look at the liquidation data on the back end here. We can see Polkadot has swept all of its local resistance range and hasn't retested as a new low yet. So this previous 460 level, that's going to be an area I'm going to be paying attention to see if it may be worth taking along at that level if we pull back to that range. But once more, local liquidation is all swept here. There's a little bit left, upwards about $5, but not too much left here. Take a look at liquidation delta, super high. This is important to recognize. It basically implies you don't want to short into this because there's too much buying pressure. Okay? If that stays too high for too long, we'll have a different conversation. But at this point, open interest, there's resistance about 473, but also support at 453. So once more, that 453 range, 450 to 460, hasn't been retested yet, and that's always a good place to consider entry. It's easy to reflect that or to see that here. Let me go ahead and put a line on the chart here. This is 457, and we got our previous 462 here. So this is somewhat of a support range for us, right? This little vein here. So we want to pay attention and see kind of where we're at with this, but previous highs should work as new lows moving forward. That's kind of the concept there. We got a nice little support range here for us. Okay, so what we want to look at is the daily time frame, work our way down, kind of see what's going on. And if you look at the daily here, you can recognize this coin's looking better than most other coins. And the reason why is mainly because we can see this area here of confluence. In other words, we're above the 50 and the 20-day SMA, at least for the moment. Doesn't mean we're just going to shoot to the moon because of it, but it does imply we're shifting gears and essentially breaking that macro trend line. Furthermore, too, to recognize, this is important to understand, significant amount of resistance at 470. That's why we came up rejected off that level and we're pulling back a little bit, because that's our point of control since, February 2nd. We've seen the most amount of volume there, and in turn, we're going to see exit liquidity at that range. That's just generally the concept. Having said that, though, we can see 50 on the RSI has been broken, money flow index is high. There's a lot of reasons why this coin is more likely than not going to continue further higher, pending Bitcoin doesn't have a substantial pullback here soon. If Bitcoin does pull back to its local ranges of just say 85 to 87K, I feel like this coin would be an excellent opportunity to get in at that range, just because we should be retesting this local high range. Okay? Once again, 450 to 460 seems like a very, very good consideration for a long on this coin. Anyways, the daily time frame is looking pretty darn good. 4-hour time frame, we can see this ascending trend line here still working pretty well. The overall sentiment is very positive. We can recognize that we're over 50 in the RSI. We've rejected off at 70 here, most likely to pull back a little bit before the next leg up. But stochastic, swinging back down, MACD converging, these are all very bullish signs. The only thing I don't love is that the money flow index is kind of low. At least it's lower than the RSI. Typically, you want to see, for continuation patterns, you want to see the money flow index higher. Doesn't mean the price can't continue higher here. It just implies that a pullback is more likely than we are to see a breakout right now. Okay? So just kind of some friendly advice here. Be very careful taking along right here at the potential top. I would much rather recommend waiting to see the price bounce here off this level, or potentially even a little bit lower. Okay? So something along these lines is kind of what I'm looking at as a potential consideration. Once more, that's fairly synonymous in a lot of ways with Bitcoin's behavior here too. Bitcoin starts to stall out and pull back. Excellent opportunity to DCA on the way down and or take some longs in the 450 to 460 range. Once more, these are just things that I'm thinking of. I'm not telling you to do this. You do whatever the heck you want, but I can tell you that these are things I like to look for, and generally speaking, my trade success rate is fairly high. I wait a long time for confirmation. I'll miss tons of opportunities, but when I take my trades, they're generally going to be favorable because of these conditions that I look for. Ichimoku Cloud confirming we're in good shape here. Nothing really to note outside of the fact that we're just pretty much on the bullish side of things here. So We've broken bullish with this coin from not just a macro perspective, but a short-term perspective. And I think it's likely we're going to see further upside here for this coin after a retest of our local highs. All right, folks, I hope that makes sense. I described that correctly. Make sure you check out Bitunix too. I get a question like, what is your favorite exchange? This is the one. And they give you really nice deposit reward bonuses too. And every month they have different trading competitions for our community members if you use my link to register. There's no KYC or VPN. That's the main reason we use them. Check out our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord too if you want to stay on top of our layout charts that I consistently provide as a result of analyzing the charts for you. All right, folks, have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself out there. Bye-bye.